The year is 1995. The NBA looks to have another successful, competitive season, except this time the league's best player, and arguably the greatest of all time, decides not to lace up and play. Michael Jordan, coming off a fresh three-peat with the Chicago Bulls, was looking to continue his dominance with no end in sight. At least that's what everyone thought. With news spreading around of Jordan's retirement, organizations went into a frenzy as the championship-favored Chicago Bulls dynasty came toppling down. Teams scrambled to try and assemble their own squads to compete for what felt like the first real chance at a championship, but one team stood out more than the others, and led by their star center, they were able to achieve the ultimate goal of raising the Larry O'Brien. Welcome to Historic Runs. This is a series I created to shed light on players that go on historic runs for a period of time, whether it be in the regular season, playoffs, or both. So far, I've done Stephen Curry's 2016 regular season run, where he became the first ever player to win a unanimous MVP, and LeBron's 2018 playoff run, where he led the under-talented Cavaliers to the finals. If either videos sound interesting to you, I'll leave the link to them in the description below and a playlist in the top right corner of the screen right now. As for this video, if you enjoy it, leaving a like always helps. I can't stress out how much each like helps for my small channel to grow and reach more new people who like basketball like you. Comment letting me know what you think of the video, and if you have any other historic runs you'd like to see me have a look at. And as always, subscribe to get notified whenever a video drops. Now let's get started by having a look at Hakeem Olajuwon's 1995 postseason run. To start the playoffs, Hakeem and the Houston Rockets were already going up against a really good and tough team in the Utah Jazz, led by superstar Karl Malone and all-time great point guard John Stockton. Despite Hakeem Olajuwon's great 45-point Game 1 performance, the Rockets still came up short by 2 points. However, the team would have a bounce-back Game 2 and win by 14 points thanks to Kenny Smith's 32 points. Hakeem Olajuwon would have 30 points and 10 rebounds in Game 3, but it wasn't enough to overcome Malone's 32 points and 19 rebounds. Keep in mind that the first round series back then were best of 5 and not 7. In a winner-go-home Game 4 for the Houston Rockets, Clyde Drexler dropped 41 points and 9 rebounds, and Hakeem Olajuwon put up 40 points and 8 rebounds as they would blow out the Jazz and force a Game 5. Just saying those stat lines out loud remind me of that graphic that was made for Kyrie Irving and LeBron James when they both dropped 41 points in the 2016 playoffs. In the final game of the series, Hakeem would lead his team to victory with 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. Hakeem definitely had a great start to the playoffs, and his numbers prove that, as he averaged 35 points, 8.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a little over 2.5 steals, while shooting 57.3% from the field. If you thought the next round was going to be any easier of a matchup for Hakeem and the Rockets, you'd be wrong, because they would be going up against the 59-23 Phoenix Suns led by Sir Charles Barkley. The Houston Rockets had to go up against another great matchup. Houston had a disappointing Game 1 as they got destroyed by the Suns, losing by 22 points. Hakeem's struggles ended up translating over to Game 2 as well, where he only had 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Game 3 is when Hakeem began to find his rhythm, accumulating 36 points and 11 rebounds to trail 2-1. Game 4 would be a crucial one as the Rockets didn't want to go down 3-1 in the series. Even though Hakeem had a great game, producing 38 points, Kevin Johnson of the Phoenix Suns had 43 points and Charles Barkley dropped 25 points, which would lead to them having a 3-1 series lead. With the Rockets' backs against the wall and the Suns one game away from eliminating the defending champions, Houston's last hope was Hakeem. Hakeem wouldn't go down without a fight, and he proved that in Game 5, having 31 points and 16 rebounds in a very close victory for the Rockets. Charles Barkley would have his way in Game 6, dropping 34 points and 14 rebounds, but Hakeem's near triple-double performance outmatched Sir Charles. The Rockets would win Game 6 and force a Game 7 in Phoenix, and let me tell you, Game 7 was one for the ages. A lot of players had big nights. Our guy Hakeem Olajuwon had 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, and his all-star teammate Clyde the Glide Drexler had 29 points, as well as tagging along 8 rebounds and 4 assists. On the other side, Charles Barkley put up 18 points and 23 rebounds, and it was Kevin Johnson who put the ball through the hoop for the team, having 46 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, a steal, and a block. Ultimately, the Houston Rockets slipped away with the win, with the final score finishing 115-114, as the Rockets would complete a 3-1 comeback deficit and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Hakeem had yet another phenomenal series where he averaged 29.6 points, 9 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and shot over 50% from the field. The Houston Rockets have not had an easy path in the postseason so far, and the next round would see probably their most difficult matchup yet. The San Antonio Spurs, led by the Admiral David Robinson. The Western Conference Finals would feature two of the best big men in the game going toe-to-toe. David Robinson was the reigning MVP, but many people thought D-Rob had stolen this award from Hakeem. This matchup would give the Dream the perfect chance for revenge. The Rockets would start the series off strong with a win, behind Hakeem's 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in a 1-point victory. Hakeem had a monster Game 2 performance, posting up 41 points and 16 rebounds, while ultimately leading to a victory for the Rockets, starting the series off 2-0. Again, Hakeem Olajuwon would come up big in Game 3 for the Houston Rockets, consisting of 43 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 blocks, but the Spurs had 3 players score over 20 points, so they were able to scrape out the win for that one. In Game 4, Hakeem Olajuwon had 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks, but it just wasn't enough to overcome the San Antonio Spurs, as they were able to tie the series up 2-2. In a very important Game 5, Hakeem led his team to a 3-2 series lead behind his amazing 42-point, 9-rebound, 8 assists, and 5-block game to outperform the MVP David Robinson. To silence all the haters, Hakeem posted up a 39-point, 17-rebound, and 5-block Game 6 performance to finish the series off and silence all the haters and doubters of the Dream-led Rockets. The Western Conference Finals against the San Antonio Spurs is probably Hakeem's best series of the postseason. His averages back that up as well, as he ended up averaging 35.3 points, 12.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.3 steals, a crazy amount of blocks at 4.2 a game, and he shot 56% from the field, 50% from 3, and a postseason high 80.6% from the line. By now you're thinking the Dream has faced off against all the great big men of the league, and while you're not wrong about that, there's still one person in the way of the Larry O'Brien trophy, and that was the Orlando Magic, led by the Diesel Shaquille O'Neal. Before we go on to the 1995 NBA Finals, I just wanted to remind you to leave a like on this video, because if you've made it this far, it probably means you're enjoying it. Leaving a like also helps out my small channel to reach more new people and introduce them to my content. Leave a like letting me know what you think of the video and which historic run I should have a look at next, and subscribe to get notified whenever I post any new videos, which is daily. Thank you so much as always, and now let's have a look at the 1995 NBA Finals. This series was supposed to be a battle between two alpha dogs in Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal, but it was more of a one-sided show. Hakeem would drop 31 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 4 blocks in Game 1 to start the series off with a victory. In Game 2, the Dream would have 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks to lead Houston to another victory. He would do the same in Game 3 with 31 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists, and to close out the series, Hakeem had an outstanding performance with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists to win back-to-back championships as well as back-to-back Finals MVPs. In the finals, Hakeem averaged 32.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He shot 48.3% from the field, 100% from 3, and 69.2% from the line. The finals may have been a little underwhelming considering it was a sweep, but that shouldn't take away from Hakeem's amazing play in the postseason. A postseason run that was so great that I think should receive way more recognition than what it's getting right now, considering the Rockets were a 6th seed and won a championship, the lowest seeded team to ever win one. Hakeem Olajuwon had to go through Karl Malone and John Stockton in the first round, Charles Barkley and Kevin Johnson in the second round, the reigning MVP David Robinson in the Western Conference Finals, and a young, super athletic Shaquille O'Neal in the finals. Now as always, I leave it up to you. What do you think of Hakeem Olajuwon's 1995 playoff run? Is it an all-time great run, or one that shouldn't warrant recognition? Let me know in the comment section down below, and while you're there, leave a like on this video so that it reaches more new people, and as always, subscribe to get notified whenever I post, which is daily. And as always, until next time, cheers.